All right. Yeah, we're good. We're live.
Yeah,
Welcome to the Collab Gem. Darrell Banks, the Plan Beats.
back at it again.
Yeah, bro. Let's get it. Play the intro. How's it going, man? How you been?
Yeah, it's going all right.
Been all right.
I could be better, but I could be worse, so I'm in the middle. How about you?
I think I'm in the same place as you.
Yeah,
Can't always be better, but can't complain because could also definitely be worse.
yeah, true.
So yeah, glass half full type of thing.
You and that glass half full. That's like one of your mottos or something.
Yeah, bro. The Plan Beats glass half full. I ain't putting out beats, but at least I already have 300 out. That's my glass half full. And you're still going strong with the daily beats, huh?
Yeah, for the most part. Trying to, bro. Trying to.
Wanna drop some of mine? Or some for me?
No.
Damn. God damn.
You wish. You wish I would.
I do have to go back and work on beats. It just hasn't been the same lately to me. Not really like the making beats part of it. It's just the whole business side of it. I feel like that's sort of stagnant. Like make a beat, put it out, and all that mumbo jumbo.
Mm-hmm. I get you, bro.
But I'm excited about the projects we got going on. We got the EP, and I'm excited about the other projects I got going on. So
Yeah.
yeah, you got any special stuff going on recently?
Not really. Not really. Yeah, I don't really have much going on, to be honest. Nothing like special out of the norm. I did get some shit sent to Danks, so I gotta send him some more shit.
Oh, yeah, you did mention you were gonna send him something.
Yeah.
I know he's gonna rock with whatever you send.
Yeah, he already fucks with one a lot. So
Hell yeah.
yeah.
Let's go, bro. Creating them connections.
Networking, baby.
And we hope everyone on the on the listening side of the podcast has listened to the previous episode with Dank. If you haven't, please go. 'Cause there's a lot of insightful information, whether you're an artist or producer or just love music in general. Like there's a lot of stuff to take from that. So go check out the last episode.
Yeah, he really brought a lot of value in that episode.
Yeah, it's really dope to see the perspective of the artist when you're a producer and you're inside this circle so much.
Mm-hmm.
It really is dope to see because in the end it's a business relationship that you end up creating, but it's also like depending on how in depth it goes, it becomes like an actual friendship and just all in all partnership that you create there. So there's a lot of love to be had when you create a great link with whoever you're working with. Much like us too, right? Because it's been almost 7 years.
Yeah.
And we had so many different projects going on and all that and all a lot of love and shit.
So much love.
Yeah, definitely not money because, you know.
We getting that money. I mean, I am for you.
Yeah, you are.
I'm hoarding it for you. I'm putting it away in a little bank account.
I'm going to be like 75. You're going to hit me up. Yo, Plan, remember all that money you never got.
Yeah, then you get hit with like $1 million. You're like, I'm too old to spend it, motherfucker. What am I going to do with this?
Yeah. And then you'll say, well, then I'll keep it for myself since you Oh my God. Just fucking flip it. What are we talking about today? You're the one choosing the topic this week.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about maintaining being professional in difficult times and situations, man.
Yeah.
Especially with Will Smith and Chris Rock going on.
Yeah.
That shit was crazy. Did you see that?
Bro, honestly, I didn't see that happening, but the amount of memes that came in, like, obviously I ended up going and see what happened.
Yeah, those memes were hilarious. I can't even lie.
And they're still going strong. I mean, the day we're recording, they're still going strong. It's been, what, a week already? So I don't know if they're still gonna go when we actually go live with this episode, but it's been going for so long. There's like even this meme of DJs this summer just sampling the whole situation. Bro, it's going insane. But yeah, that whole thing was insane. What's your take on that? Because a lot of people suspect that it was staged. Others think it was completely for real.
I believe it's real. Yeah, I believe it's real. I mean, it does look a little weird. I can't lie, but I believe it's real. But my take on it, I mean, I get both sides of the situation. I can see where we're human. You know, we have those moments where we slip up and let our emotions get the best of us and we make terrible decisions. So I can see that. But at the same time, like, bruh, that's extremely unprofessional. Like when you're on that level and that caliber at a place like the Oscars, you should not, you know, resort to violence over words on that stage. That's just ridiculous. Over a joke.
Yeah, exactly. Not only the whole circumstance of it, but because of a joke. Personally, I don't know if that was real or staged. I wouldn't be. I wouldn't. I don't think it would be too far fetched for it to have been staged. I'm not saying I think it definitely was or anything like that, but it would have made sense considering how Hollywood functions and everything. And even the situation was how it was handled afterwards. It felt way too like, oh, let's just let it go by, you know.
Yeah.
It felt like too fuck it of a moment to have not been staged. But it could have gone either way. But even so, whether it was staged, whether it was 100% for real, it was definitely not the way to go.
No.
Because especially when you check out so many stand-up comedians. I know you're also very into stand-up comedy. Personally, I am, and there's always this discussion of when are you going too far?
Yeah.
Versus should you be too politically correct when you're doing comedy? And it's very hard for comedians, I believe, to create that balance.
I don't believe this going too far in comedy because it's comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to go to a show and you're going to get offended over something, then you shouldn't go to a show. Comedy should just be free for people to do what they want. Like, it's because it's jokes. It's not meant to be taken seriously or taken to heart.
I agree.
So I really don't feel like there should be like politically correct comedy. Then you're neutering comedy. Like, what they gonna do? Tell dad jokes? Come on, bro. Like, nah.
Hey, bro, a good dad joke slaps every time.
Yeah, true.
Unintended.
Ba-doom.
Boom. Yeah, no, I do agree. I mean, it's comedy. At best, there might be a too soon type of joke. Like, at least let shit settle in. But at the same time, I don't know. It's weird too, because there would have probably been circumstances where joking about this situation specifically would not be okay. But as soon as this shit went down, like the amount of memes and videos and all that going around is just insane. So it really feels like there's two ways into measurements for what's good to make a joke about versus what's not, and when in terms of timing.
Yeah, I get it. I get that. The only thing I would say is that I could understand if somebody was joking about somebody's death, like they had recently passed or something like that. Now, to me, that's that is going overboard to try to make a joke out of that. But as far as like a bald joke or something like that, bro, like, are we really getting offended at that at this point in time? So that's what we want to be like, don't joke about that.
Bro, I honestly didn't even really get the joke.
I didn't either at first.
Did you get it at all by now? Because I still haven't gotten the joke.
I got it once I did research because I never seen G.I. Jane. I didn't even know what he was talking about. I was like, okay.
Wait, G.I. Jane is the actual thing?
Yeah, it's a movie.
Oh, I know of G.I. Joe. I thought that it was just like alluding to
No.
What the feminine version would be.
G.I. Jane is a movie where it's like a woman who's like in the army or whatever, and she has a bald head. So he was making a joke that he wants to see her in the second G.I. Jane.
Okay.
So that was the joke. Yeah.
Okay.
It's stupid.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, even understanding it, obviously, but even understanding it, I don't think it's honestly that funny.
Not really, no.
But yeah, it is kind of overboard to react the way he did. But again, I think maybe he also reacted to that because of the whole alopecia thing, because she suffers from alopecia, from what I heard.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
Yeah, no, but it's comedy.
Right.
And he definitely didn't say it with a malicious sound to it.
No. It wasn't like he was saying like, oh, your wife has a bald head. She's ugly as hell, or something crazy. Like, he didn't go overboard. It was a corny joke.
Exactly.
But like I said, at the same time, I also understand that sometimes we let our emotions get the best of us, and we take small things and blow it out of proportion. And who knows what else he has going on in his life that escalated him to that point. But either way, I still don't feel like you have to have a certain understanding of being professional and holding that down. Don't do that at that type of setting. Save that for after the show.
Yeah.
Or if anything, I would have said something or got up on stage and explained to people what my wife has going on. He could have turned that whole situation into something else. Had he got on stage after he won his award and been like, my wife is suffering from alopecia, and it wasn't, nice to make a joke about that at this time because she's really suffering with this, then people would have been on his side. But he chose to, let his emotions go crazy and make a moment.
Yeah, exactly. But it is how you're saying when you're going through shit. Obviously, if you're in a professional environment, you should at all times keep it professional. It doesn't matter if you're in a public environment, if you're just between you and your client or counterpart or whoever it is in the professional end of it. But it does get hard if you're like overflowing with emotions. If there's like if someone died in your family recently, it's gonna be hard as fuck to concentrate or to. But those might be the best moments for you to simply distance yourself.
Yeah, true.
Because it's hard to build up a good relationship with whoever, be it intimately, be it as a friend, be it professionally, but it's extremely easy to break it and to never get it back to when it was. And so if you feel like you're not in a place emotionally where you can actually handle yourself in a professional manner, then you should take a step back.
Yeah, I totally agree. When you're going through stuff like that, it's best to take a step back and distance yourself, because that will lead to explosion.
And nowadays, it's even harder for you to like not necessarily keep them a secret or something like that, but with social media being such a big part of everyone's life, and especially if you're in the creative medium, or if you're in a medium where you base your own work around social media to an extent, it's going to be hard to keep those emotions, if they explode, to keep them away from everyone's eye.
Yeah, true.
So as soon as Will's reaction went the way it did, obviously it's even worse because he did it in the fucking Oscars. But like everyone in the world saw that mess.
Yep.
And you can completely be compassionate about what he might be going through, if anything, about the situation, about the joke, whatever it is, but it wasn't professional. And I'm not judging again, just like you said, sometimes it's hard.
It totally is.
And even the toughest people, or even the more emotionally stable people, so to say, can have these types of breakdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely not judging or saying it's impossible not to be professional at all times.
Yeah, because I know it's hard for me, bro. To be honest, it's hard for me because sometimes people push my buttons. I can't even lie. And the crazy part is I don't really get upset if somebody has a problem with my pricing on music, or, agreements or stuff like that. That's cool. They can just keep it pushing. But when people start attacking you, like calling you out your name, and I had a dude call me a scammer. Scammer, bro.
Because of your price?
Because of my license agreements. Seriously. He called me a scammer and said I was scamming people because producers should not be entitled to what I was asking for.
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah. And it was hard for me to control my emotions because I can't stand when somebody puts a label on me that's not true. Now you're just lying. You're straight up lying on me and my name, and I don't tolerate that. So it's hard for me I have to, like you said, distance myself, take a step back, get a breather, and then come back with that mindset of, I can't cuss this person out. Even though I really want to, I want to go crazy and let them have it. But
yeah,
I have to, calm down and center myself to handle it professionally. Because what's the point of stooping to his level and attacking him back? Then I look like a fool arguing with a fool.
Not only that, it's going to end up biting you in the ass. Because if you keep it professional, even if he still remains with the idea that you're a scammer because you want this and that and those, if you keep it completely professional, it's gonna all be written down. Even like on top of that, it's gonna be written down because it's DMs that we work with most of the times. At least you kept it professional. Like there's no thing that he can actually point you to anyone else, or at least have anything to back it up if he wants to go and bullshit your name to someone else. But if you blow up on someone, however rightfully so, they're gonna have like, oh, here's like the receipts. This motherfucker just went insane because I said whatever. And they're gonna keep the rest of the conversation out because it's gonna be better for them. And so it's already bad that you have to explode on someone. It's ultimately gonna be even worse for you. Because even if you're on the right, everyone else is going to see what they like to see.
True.
And most people, and I'm not saying that most people are going to look at what's wrong better than what's right, but what's wrong usually is what creates like sensationalism. I don't know if that's the term in English. That's the term in Portuguese. Basically, it's what creates a fuss.
Yeah.
You know, like if it's too good, obviously nowadays, luckily, if you're doing good, people tend to be more geared to it. But still, if it's a negative trait, people are gonna want to be sucked into it and be part of the discussion and all of that. And I know this because I've also been this way sometimes. I don't know if it's social media, if whatever it is, but people come down to seeing something negative and get geared towards it. So it's really adding fuel to the fire when you blow up on someone, regardless of arguments or who's wrong or who's right.
Yeah, totally.
How do you handle those situations when you feel that someone is calling you a scammer, when someone is bullshitting their way to get their way? What do you do?
Man, like I said, the best thing for me to do is I take a step back. I try to, just step away, shut down my computer, but not shut down my computer literally, but just like step away.
Throw the computer out the window, just not
Yeah, throw it out the window. Yeah, but I try to step away from it. I talk it out with family, just, to get that emotion release off. So I'm not going off on this person. And then I take my time and just try to calm myself down and just realize it's not worth going to that level over something, somebody who's ignorant pretty much. So that's what I do. And I just try to calm myself down, breathe, and then be like, okay, I'm just going to respond to this person in a professional manner. Or either that or I'm not going to respond at all, which is probably better if it's that ignorant of somebody just, just saying ridiculous things.
Yeah, I would probably go with a closer. Like, hey, man, I'm sorry you feel like that.
Yeah.
That's just not what it is. It's not true. And if that's how you feel, then this is where we part ways.
No, but how about you? How do you handle it?
I think I handle it pretty much the same way as you. I don't think I ever had a situation. I mean, I did have situations that were pretty bad. One of which was the one that we discussed a couple of weeks ago from that artist that blew his lid.
Yeah.
But I don't think I actually need to just shut off everything and think for a moment. I think I have a pretty good judgment, like the way of handling these types of things in the heat of the moment. I used to be very on the edge with the emotional part of it, but when it comes to business, I'm cold. I can be cold enough to stop at that moment and just like breathe, look at the text, think for a moment, and say, okay, but that's not how it is. If it's a personal matter, I'm probably going to be more on the emotional side. Because again, it's going to be personal. But if it's on a professional matter, if we're talking music, design, whatever it is, I'm cold enough to look at it and just be straightforward, talk it how it is. If they agree with it, cool. If they don't agree with it, it's their problem. I know who I am. I know how I work. I know what I deserve or not. And so that's where my mind flow always goes. But it's very different from the professional end to the personal end. But yeah, like we've been talking about it, I never let one overlap the other. On the other hand, though, I wish I could be as cold with my personal affairs as I am with my professional ones, because it would definitely make things easier on that end. But I don't know. I think that maybe that's where I balance things out.
So have you ever, I mean, I know what the rapper dude and whatnot, but other people outside of him, have you ever had somebody say something to you that kind of hit you in a certain type of way?
I've had people hit me up because of type beats, for example, when they were still sort of becoming a norm. A lot of people, well, mainly producers, would get on discussions with me of you're taking someone's likeliness to your own benefit because you're using their name in order to profit.
Yeah.
There were a few arguments, some of them somewhat valid, but again, it was when type beats was becoming a thing still, and so it was still this kind of gray area. I've had artists try to also cut down on the splits, on the royalty splits. They were like, I'm already paying you for the beat. Why do I still need to pay you for the royalties? If you want the royalties, then I shouldn't pay for the beat, and vice versa. That's also a discussion I've had. And yeah, I mean, if it's an artist that I fuck with, I don't mind taking down the pay your beat part of it, the price tag. Like royalties are part of it.
Yeah.
If your track blows up, part of that track is me. Why should I be content with the $30 you paid for the lease or the $200 you paid for the exclusive? And I don't know, when it comes to this type of conversation of you want royalties on top of the price tag and they call us scammers. I don't know if they're trying to, I don't know, firstly, if they're just ignorant in the sense of simply not knowing that this is how things work, or if they're trying to push our buttons to see if we need the sales so bad that we'll just either forget one or the other. So try to flip things around for their own advantage. But either way, it really depends on how they come out. Because if it's simply because they don't know how it works, but they come in kind of humbly, I'm okay with that because I'll just explain them how it works. And if they understand, even if they don't like it, but as long as they at least understand, then I'm okay with it. But if they come at you calling you a scammer, and regardless of them knowing or not about the process, then yeah, their attitude is what sets things up for the rest of the conversation. Because you can have the exact same conversation with someone, but the attitude changes completely.
Yeah.
Like the course of it.
Yeah, it's like I said, man, that attitude and approach type shit means a whole lot. Like you can come at it humbly and open to discussion, and we can discuss things. But when people, I don't know, it's like I have a line, and I'm truly like a calm person in life in general. Like it takes a lot to really get me upset or want to go off on somebody, but it's just I just don't tolerate disrespect. Like it's okay for you to feel the way you feel about things. If you don't like certain things, that's cool, but you're not going to disrespect me and call me out of my name and call me this and call me something that I'm not. Like that type of thing, just, I don't know, it lights a fuse in me where I just want to explode on people. Because I just don't because I wouldn't do that to nobody. I'm not going to call nobody out their name. If I approach somebody and I didn't like their terms, I don't like their terms, I move on. That's just life. That's how you handle shit as an adult. You just move on. It's not for me. But I'm not going to call somebody out their name, call them, oh, you're a liar, you're scamming people, you're cheating people. Like, bruh, you like, who do you think you're talking to? I don't know who you think you're talking to, but you're talking to the wrong person. And that's what it's like. I want to let people know who they really talking to. Like, you're not going to play me like that.
No, for sure. I completely agree with you. I mean, I'm also kind of calm. It also takes a fair amount to actually make me blow my lid, but I don't know if it's because of that type of calmness that people will look at you and think, oh, I can just walk on top of, like, walk all over them. Because I think that if you're irritated easily, it might make people step back a bit before they actually go all off on you, because they know that there will be a spark that goes back at them as soon as they get mad, you'll get mad, and it immediately creates an explosion.
Yeah.
Or if they just want to try to get a reaction for some type of benefit of theirs. But yeah, I know that usually the reaction to someone being disrespectful to you or just being a nonsense is exploding. And when someone doesn't see that coming from the people that you're trying to push, it just makes them go like harder at it. At least that's what my experience has been.
No, I feel you.
People will just walk around you or walk all over you. But yeah, it really comes down to me. It really comes down to, obviously, if you're being disrespectful to me, it still kind of depends. If you're being disrespectful to me, I'm probably just gonna cut the conversation and say peace. I'm not gonna waste my time, especially if you're someone that I never talked to or barely know or something like that. I'm not gonna waste my time with this conversation. You're calling me a scammer, then I'll send you probably a last message. Yo, this is how shit works. If you don't like it, you're lost. I'm not gonna sit here and be called names by someone I don't know. And that's it. If you're someone I do know, obviously it's gonna stir up a bit more of emotion. I'm still gonna be professional, but I will want to sort of discuss it a bit more in the matter.
You want a Will Smith smack a motherfucker?
Yeah, just slap the fucking smartphone across the room. Like, well, this conversation cost me $300. But yeah, I find myself being more irritable when someone's being disrespectful towards other people that I like than towards myself. Because usually if it's me, again, I know who I am. I know I'm more than comfortable with myself. I don't have any types of doubts about myself. And so if you're going to talk trash about me, I'll know to what extent I might agree with you or not. If I don't agree with you, which most of the times I'm probably not, I don't care. It's your opinion. Fuck your opinion. I've grew up having shit thrown at me all the time. If I do agree with you, I'm already aware of this shit, so I'm working on that, so your opinion still doesn't really matter that much. But if you're going at someone I do like that aren't there to defend themselves, I sort of feel not responsible, but like, yo, bro, that's not cool.
Yeah.
If someone would have come at me at my DMs like, yo, I see you collab with Wherelse a lot, that motherfucker's a scammer. I'm like, bro, you do not want to take that conversation up with me.
Oh, you defend my honor. I appreciate you, bro.
Nah, I would. But yeah, that's the most, and that's both personal and professional. But those are mainly the cases.
I don't get why people feel like they have to take shit the extra mile though. I don't understand that. Cause like I said, if something's not for you, then it's not for you. That's like going into a store and things are priced too high. Were you gonna cuss out the store owner and be like, everything in here is priced too high? I don't like this. It should be $10 instead of $20. Like,
this shit should be free, bro.
Right? Exactly. Even worse.
I'm paying $2 for a banana. Give me that shit.
Right. They wouldn't do that. But when it comes to beats, people don't like price, and that's totally fine. Or they don't agree with certain terms you may have. Or they feel like if they get an exclusive, they should own everything. And you shouldn't get nothing in return. No royalties, nothing. They just buy you out. There's people that do offer that, that are out there. You can find them if you look for that. But when you hit somebody up and they say, well, I'm not going to do this, I'm not willing to compromise, then people flip out and they go to trying to slander you or downplay what you do. And it's like, what? I don't understand the mentality behind that. I really don't, bro.
From my experience, I've had both types, where one person would hit me up and ask me for a free beat, or they would ask about the contract, whatever, this type of conversation. And as soon as they would listen, as soon as I would reply to them with the terms of it or the prices or anything, they would ghost me or blow up on me. So those are the two types of situations. If you ghost me, then you were just trying to find the freebie. You were just trying to find something that I would give out to you or be willing to take out of the contract for you to profit even more out of. But if you blow up on me, there, like you're saying, there's a lot more producers. And if it's someone who just wants like free beats or something, they would either go bug another producer until someone would reply to them with what they actually want, or they would just steal the beats. Because that's what it is. And so if you're blowing up on me, I assume that you simply want a reaction. Because I know that there are some motherfuckers who just get riled up on the reaction. They get off of it. I don't know how they get.
That's some psychopath type shit.
But there's a lot of people like this, especially nowadays with social media. And I think it's like growing up more and more.
I agree with that.
There's a lot of people who just like getting riled up and getting an explosive reaction out of someone. That's why you'll see people on the comment sections of somewhat controversial videos and stir up a huge conversation to like there's no point of it.
Yeah. Motherfuckers like that need therapy. Seriously. I mean, I think we all need therapy to some degree, but Jesus.
Because that's exactly what I saw. Even taking the Will Smith and the Chris Rock situation, there were memes where I would look at the comment section and would see people say, this was staged, or I thought this was staged, something like that. And then you'd see 60 plus comments, and it would all be just going back and forth of why this isn't staged, why this is staged, who was right, who was wrong, why he was right, why he was wrong. Like, you know, just going back and forth, but not like a normal conversation, because that takes like 5 minutes, sort of like what we had in the initial time of the podcast. But no, it was like explosive arguing between everyone. Like, oh, but he was a dick because of the joke, which goes to her alopecia. Oh yeah, but he was a dick because he shouldn't have smacked the dude in public to the camera. Like, you know, there's no point. What's the point of the conversation?
Yeah, they just want to be right about a situation because of their viewpoint.
Exactly. So like, there's no. What do you benefit from knowing that slap was staged or not staged? There was even arguments because, oh, but the day afterwards, Will Smith posted a video apologizing or whatever. It doesn't matter. Even if it was staged, obviously they're not going to say it was staged.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what was the point of it, you know? So they're going to stick by their story regardless. But in the end of the day, what does it matter to you? And so when someone gets on your DMs and explodes on you because you're a scammer, because you want this type of money and you want this type of royalties, but you're sticking your grounds and explaining that why isn't it so? What's the point for them to keep on pushing other than to just get a reaction out of you? Because they're not going to win the argument. I'm pretty sure at some point in the conversation they already know they're not going to win the argument. It's like you said, they just want to be right. And since they don't have actual arguments to it, or maybe they do, but it's just not changing the conversation, so they get frustrated. And as they get frustrated, they start exploding more and more. And they want to get a reaction from you so that maybe you'll give out mistakes. Because as soon as you get emotional, sometimes it's hard to get your mind straight when you get emotional. So you'll say shit that you don't mean, or you'll say shit that you might think the opposite, but somehow that's what comes out. So maybe that's type of the psychology game that they're trying to play. But that's the difference between those two people. It's whether they just want the freebie or they want the reaction.
Yeah, man. That shit's sad either way. I feel sorry for people like that, bro. Because there's really no reason to be like that.
Yeah, and they're not like that with just that situation. They're like that with all situations.
I feel like these motherfuckers have practice. Like they go, like it's not their first rodeo when they hit you up with some dumb shit. Like they've done this to 100 other people.
Yeah, they're out here for the black belt, bro. This ain't their final form still.
I'm still leveling up. Let's see how many more people I can talk shit to and put down.
It's fucking ridiculous. I don't get it. I don't get why people get off of this.
Yeah, people's mindset is fucked up. It's like they are still childish in the way they carry things and handle things. Because I've also had others, on the other hand, you know, where I explain certain things or terms or stuff like that, and we work it out. You know, they might not like this term. So I'll be like, well, maybe we can try this. Or if not, then they'd be like, well, it's just not for me. And I appreciate people like, that's how you handle shit as just a adult, a human being, period. Like being able to work and compromise on things. And if something's not for you, it's not for you.
Yeah, you gotta be comprehensive about stuff. Because it might not be for you, it might not be for them. But as long as you're both on the same page as to whether this can work or not, just gotta be an adult about it and move either way of what it works.
I can only imagine what the big time people deal with from day to day.
They have managers.
Well, yeah, true enough.
Somewhat true. I mean, a lot of big people still.
But if you could see the DMs and, oh man, I know like Payne, he, you know, sometimes shares insight on the crazy shit he gets, and it's the most ridiculous stuff. Like people really slander him like something serious, like he's the worst thing ever. People just talk hella shit. I'm like, bruh.
Some of them just talking to him like he started this shit yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, bruh. But I do love his responses, though. Payne has some of the best replies to these dudes.
His sarcasm is on like 10.
Yeah.
I love it.
Me too, bro.
I love it.
It's extremely sad to see people hit up Payne to like saying those types of shit, but it always compensates for me because of those replies.
Yeah.
I wish I had that type of reply power.
I know, right? I wish I could just hire somebody to be like my sarcastic manager for dumb shit and just come back with just ridiculous things. That'd be great.
When it's on comments, I'll be stupid to people.
Oh, I know. I've seen it.
Yeah, when it comes to comments, when it's DMs, they're actually trying to hit me up. If it's a bot or something, if it's a bot or a very automated message, I'll also fuck with them. But if they're actually trying to talk to me and all that, that's when I can't really be that type of sarcastic. But I wish I still could.
Yeah, I know.
Because at least it eases those types of things.
Yeah, true.
Like getting dudes on your beat saying, "Yo, I love the bars on this," and me saying, "Imagine if I actually rapped on it, though." Bruh.
You know what isn't stupid?
You know what isn't stupid?
Beatstars.com.
I want the next BeatStars.com voice tech to be made by you.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, but at this point, the BeatStars voice tech is already legendary. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, boy. BeatStars.com. If you don't know, BeatStars is a digital marketplace for your music. We've done this so many times. And I've come to learn that people have used our code a lot of times. So I'm glad that everyone is enjoying BeatStars. And if you're not still enjoying BeatStars, BeatStars is a musical marketplace where musicians can buy and sell beats, sound kits, albums, hooks, basically any creative service that you can imagine. So even mixing and mastering services, even design services if you're on that spectrum. So BeatStars is very broad in terms of what you can and what you can sell. BeatStars has been around for over a decade now, and it's the #1 marketplace for you to get your beats out. So please make sure you check them out because some of the bigger placements are coming out of BeatStars. Recently, I don't know if you heard this, but Denzel Curry released a new album, and a lot of producers from BeatStars on that album. Not only Denzel Curry, but Wherelse, who was sort of viral. He was viral a few months ago. Also dropped an album, and there's BeatStars producers on there. Leto. There's a whole lot of placements coming out of BeatStars. If you want to know who are the latest ones, go check BeatStars Publishing on Instagram. But yeah, go check out BeatStars, and we're giving you the very first month for free for you to test out fully with the Pro Page plan. So just go over to beatstars.com/sell-beats and use the coupon code checkpoint for the first 30 days off. That's a whole month for you to test every single feature that BeatStars has to offer. And if you don't like it, you can cancel it before they charge you the first subscription payment. And if you do like it, just keep it as is and keep on going and get your sales up and get connections built out with other creators, both producers and artists. So again, go to beatstars.com/sell-beats and use the coupon code checkpoint for 30 days off.
Yeah. I wish I was on Denzel Curry's project. That would be great. That was a really dope project.
Bro, that project was insane. I've listened to his past work, and Denzel Curry is hella fire. But his new album was super dope because there's a lot of different variety on it too. You have some old school type of sounding joints, and then you have like super modern trap tracks as well. And he always had that gritty type of feel to it. So Denzel has a lot of great work on that album.
Yeah, for sure. I listened to that joint like a couple of times when I was working out. Yeah, that was a really good project.
And it's a long one. It's a long album too, I think.
I mean, it was long enough for my workout. I know that much, I think.
Let me double check how many tracks there were. It's 14 tracks.
We need super long albums to come back.
Yeah, that's a good point. It was 14 tracks, so it wasn't as long as I expected, but as I thought, but it was still somewhat long. But that's also something that I've been noticing, and I don't know if it's just me or if you noticed that as well. Obviously, when you were up until what 2010, maybe a little later as well, albums would be 20 tracks long.
Yeah.
20 plus. You would even see some as long as 24 tracks or even more. Like they weren't super long, they were a whole experience. And then you started seeing the opposite of albums being like what 10 to 12 tracks, and that becoming the norm, where longer albums would be a lot more rare. But I feel like nowadays it's starting to go back again, because I'm starting to see some albums have a lot more tracks again.
I mean, I like short albums if you're just trying to just listen to something real fast, but since I enjoy working out and stuff, long albums are like my best friend. Like it sucks starting the album, you start working out, you getting into the music, and then it just stops. And then I'm like, oh my God, now I gotta find something else to listen to because there was only 5 tracks. Are you kidding me?
But that's also part of the conversation where a lot of, I don't know if the argument because of albums becoming longer again, I don't know if that argument is still standing, but up until recently, the argument was release more singles than albums because people don't have as long as like bigger attention spans, so they won't probably listen to the whole album and so on and so forth. So it went from big albums to medium-sized albums to singles primarily. And now it's going the other way around. Do you enjoy, obviously, if it's a good album or a good artist, something like that, do you enjoy a long album regardless? Or do you feel like there needs to be some type of concept? Because I've listened to albums that were 20 plus tracks, but it feels like halfway through, I've seen 3 different types. I've seen albums where they start really well, but then they start to decay along the way. And then there are others who are just balanced. They might be really good, they might be really bad, or they might have a bit of both. But it's usually one of these. Do you like an album regardless?
No, not regardless. I feel like it has to at least be good throughout the whole project because I definitely have experienced like long albums where it might start off good and then tapers off and then the rest of the tracks are like, eh. Or it might start off slow and then become good. But yeah, I like long concept albums that have some type of theme and flow to it so that it's like a journey, a ride to it so that it never really gets boring throughout. But there's other times like if I'm just like working out and it's just a long album of just trap bangers type shit, I'll rock with that. Cause I'm just listening to the beats at that point. I'm not really, trying to dive deep into a whole, something special. But now if I'm like doing something else, like, I don't know, editing the podcast or cleaning my room or some shit like that, then yeah, I prefer like a thematic long album.
But so let's say there's an album. So Denzel Curry's picking up on that album again. It's a pretty versatile album. So like I said, you have old school to very new wave trap. So it's very balanced, but it is very different types of sounds going back and forth. So although it's not a complete switch between one or the other, it's very balanced amongst the whole album. But there have been albums, I don't know if you have listened to them as well, or these types of albums, where it just feels all over the place. You'll listen to a track and it's extremely old school, like Nas type shit, like 90s boom bap tracks. And then all of a sudden you got this type of Lil Uzi Vert type of sound.
Yeah.
And that's like extremely contrasting. And does this sit well to you for an album experience? Because to me, it really breaks the album experience because I do like a well-constructed concept of an album. Even if it has different types of sounds throughout the tracks, at least have some sort of glue factor that makes them not just the artist, because even the artist ends up sounding somewhat different. But like it needs that glue factor.
I totally agree with that. That would throw me off if I was listening to an album and it went from like 90s boom bap to Lil Uzi Vert to Travis Scott to Post Malone type sounding stuff and rock and roll. Like if it was doing something like that, yeah, that's gonna throw me. completely off. I can't even think of an album that has done that for me recently. But again, that's, I'm listening to the types of people that make the stuff I like to listen to. So is there an example of some album that you've heard? Not trying to call nobody out specifically.
No.
But
I know that I'm saying this because recently there was an album that did that for me, but I honestly forget which it was. Because I go on Spotify and it suggests me like new releases, new albums. And I'll just go through the new ones because I like to listen to new music. And there was this one album that I liked some of the tracks, but it was going back and forth all the time. It was from this artist that I think was coming up on the scene, but I forget who it was. I'll let you know if I remember. But yeah, it was the whole back and forth. So where I think Denzel Curry was able to balance that type of sound well, because even though they're somewhat different styles, like the sonority of them still gets somewhat similar, there are there are artists who don't do it as well. And then if you go and you listen to an album like Lucky Days tracks or Lucky Days albums, which is pretty much the neo soul, trap soul,
R&B-ish,
that new, and like it's not all the same, but it's the same type of sound. Throughout the whole album, it's consistent. It's really well built. There's a concept there. I think maybe it's easier when it comes to R&B versus hip hop, because hip hop there's so much going on, whereas R&B also has a lot of different styles, but it's more consistent between each other. But yeah, it really breaks me down when the album goes back and forth.
Yeah. One album I could say that I recently listened to that kind of gave me that feeling. I can't say 100%, but I don't like that stuff where you have like bangers and then you have R&B sounding tracks. That shit throws me off all the time, bro. Like, it's cool to have like an R&B love song or something, but it has to fit in the context of what else you have going on. Like Drake's last album, Drake is Drake. He sings, he raps, he can do everything. But that's a problem at the same time because his album sound like he would have a dope ass track. I'm vibing to it. I'm like, oh yeah, man, this joint is hard as hell. Then the next song, he's serenading me. I'm like, bro, I don't want to hear this right now. You went from hard to, ooh, baby, I love you, bro.
Oh yeah. But see, but what if, and again, like Drake, like you say, Drake does all of it. To what extent would that feeling be different if the track list was just displayed differently? Because you can't have a serenade right after a banger. But what if it dims down, like the 2 or 3 tracks in between? It would create a better experience in that sense.
Okay, I see what you're saying. No, yeah, for sure. But I feel like also at the same time, some of them things just they just don't contextually fit. Like you was explaining with Denzel Curry, he made all this different sounds contextually fit. Even though they're different genres, maybe sound-wise, he found a way to glue it so that it makes sense. Now, if the songs make sense, then that's cool. But if it sounds like a straight-up R&B track, why not just make an R&B album? Instead of trying to fit it on a project, it doesn't really, you know what I'm saying? It almost feels like a compilation more so than an album.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, sometimes it's just hard to get the distinction, I guess. If you go listen to Jay-Z, obviously Jay-Z is that iconic type of sound, but his older albums still had those. They weren't ballads, but they were more on the smoother side, but still it was that Jay-Z sound. So it was very balanced.
Oh yeah.
But when it goes dramatically from hip hop or trap to R&B, I guess it's a lot harder to get a balance in between those. But I don't know, maybe some
yeah. Maybe it's just me too, because like I said, a lot of times I'll be listening to albums when I'm working out, so I'll be in that, I'm working out mood, and they have these bangers, and then all of a sudden they hit me with some left field country shit, and I'm like, I can't get jiggy with this.
Can't get jiggy with this. No, but see, that's fuck. Bro, when it comes to workout, I go for the old shit. I don't trust the new albums to work out.
I feel you. That's smart.
Because again, like you'll have bangers, bro. Logic's Bobby Tarantino series is for the party. That's what he says. So it's Logic for the story and Bobby Tarantino for the party, something like that. But he'll still have some weird sounds in between. Of like they're more on the, even though they're trap, they're still more on the smoother side. I couldn't work out with that because you're all there trying to be pumped up, and all of a sudden like the vibe changes completely.
Yeah,
That's where I
yeah.
go old school when I work out. I'll just listen to old albums.
Bro, bringing up Logic. What was the last album he came out with?
The last album, I think it was Bobby Tarantino 3.
Was that what it was?
I think Bobby Tarantino 3 was the last album. He dropped another one before that, I think.
Because I listened to it and I was working out and shit. And I fuck with it. But man, it was one song on there that threw me off. Because it was more like a, I won't say love song. I mean, it fit, but the shit he was saying, I was like, eh. And there was another song on the album that I really, man, that joint was amazing. I loved it. I kept running that one back. But it was one of them he was like, she can take all this blinding. That shit threw me off. I was like, no, man. I cannot get jiggy with this.
I think I listened to Bobby Tarantino 3 maybe 2 times. So I don't really remember the album that much. I remember I loved the intro because it was a fucking just joke. I don't know if you remember, was that like trying to hype you up for the track? It feels like, oh, the bars are coming, and it never comes. So that's what the intro was for that.
I didn't like the other skits though. That shit.
I don't remember the
kind
other
of
skits.
Detached it from me. He was like pretending to be some chick getting robbed and, oh, don't take my money. Oh my God, don't rob me. He's like, well, I'm gonna rob you, then I'm gonna shoot you and kill you and stuff. And she's like, oh my no. And he's doing the voices of both, and I was like, bro, come on, man.
Bro, I need to go listen to it again. I do not remember that album almost. I did love his previous skits on other albums. There's like, he has these skits, I don't know if you remember, of like Marty something calling his label, trying to get to him. And he's like all pissed because he wants to talk to Logic, but he never can. And so he's like, he's mad as fuck. And then someone answers the phone and he's like, oh, hi, how are you? I'm trying to find Logic and shit. And they deny him. And he's like, look, you listen here, you little bitch. Like, he completely flips the script. Like, I always loved those skits. I don't remember the ones from Bobby Tarantino 3. I need to go re-listen.
Yeah, skits can be cool if you do it proper, but yeah, some of that shit just really hit or miss sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it really, skits are tough. You remember Hopsin skits?
No, I don't, because I haven't listened to Hopsin's shit in so long.
Damn, bro. He dropped I know on his last album he did a skit, which was like the sequel. But the album prior to that, he dropped the first skit, which was basically mocking mumble rappers. And so he'll just do a whole rap where you don't understand shit of what's going on. And in the middle of that, he'll throw an Hakuna Matata. He literally just says, Hakuna Matata.
Oh, okay. That was a skit? I had no idea that was a skit.
I mean, it's a track, but it's a skit. It's like mocking.
Okay, yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
So it's like, it's sort of in between.
Yeah, I thought that shit was funny. Yeah, now I remember that now. Yeah, that shit was funny.
Bro, the thing is, that beat slaps, the track slaps. And even at the end of it, he says, watch motherfuckers say, how did he put it? He said, that shit goes hard, bruh, or something like that. And bro, it does. Even though he's joking about it, that shit still goes hard. That's what pisses me off. But it's super funny. Like, those types of skits are always very funny.
But see, that was good. But then the other shit he did, what was that shit called? Where it's like he was getting a massage and shit. Happy ending or whatever that shit was.
Yeah, it was happy endings.
Oh my God, that shit was bad.
I didn't really enjoy that track, to be honest. But I mean, it's like you said, it's hit or miss, and you're bound to. And I don't know if that flopped. I'm not saying that shit flopped, but personally, I didn't like it either that much, and not particularly because of the whole sound of it just wasn't really my vibe.
Yeah, it wasn't the hop type shit that I enjoy.
Yeah. But he's putting out crazy stuff. I mean, lately I don't know if he's been putting much. He usually puts it up on YouTube.
Yeah, I haven't seen nothing from Hop.
Yeah, he keeps it really on the low. But whenever he drops something, I think the last one he dropped was, I forget the name, but it was, the video clip was inspired by that Netflix show.
Oh yeah, the Money Heist. Yeah.
Yeah, Money Heist, exactly. And the track was fire. See, that's it. That's a thing. Like his sound is very that orchestral type of sound, but he has a lot of trap elements to it. And Hopsin is a lyricist,
Definitely.
so he has really developed a great craft.
Yeah, and he's come a long way with producing too. Like since he does his own producing and shit.
Yeah, I think he brings some producers on board, but it's mainly him. Could be wrong nowadays. I don't know, but yeah, I need a new Hopsin album for sure. That much I know.
Yeah, I like that. I would like to hear a new one.
What put me on him was Ill Mind of Hopsin 5. Do you remember which one that was? The one with in like a black room or a black light room?
I do remember that one. I didn't get put on to him on that one, I don't think. I got put on to him with the one where he was making fun of Tyler, the creator.
Oh, that's what's the name of that track? But they were somewhat in the same same amount of time. That was an Ill Mind, was it? Was that Ill Mind?
Yeah, it was Ill Mind. Yep.
Ill Mind 4 then? Might have been 4.
It might have been.
Because I know 6 went on his album, I think. Or it was right before his album, something like that. So it might have been 4. I know that another track that was a lot on the way was a lot on YouTube with Ill Mind was Sag My Pants.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's insane to see how they started, especially indie artists and where they are now. And Hopsin keeps it a lot on the down low, but still, he's always been very honest and very like straightforward with everything and everyone. I respect that a lot.
Yeah, totally.
Did you see his reaction when Eminem gave him a shout out?
Yeah, he was flipping out, from what I can remember.
Bro, he was fanboying like shit.
Yeah.
And see, I love that. I love that reaction. It felt so fucking genuine. And it's weird too, because Eminem, at the time, he shouted out Hopsin and Logic at the same time. And obviously, Logic had a whole track with Eminem. And I'm sure that Logic was just as psyched. But it wasn't public. And so to me, it was Logic got a collaboration with Eminem. But he didn't really like express his excitement or anything. At least that I saw at the time. But Hopsin was just a fucking child, just going, fucking yeah, bro. I would have.
Well, I mean, that's like one of his idols. So,
bro, of course. No, I'm not judging. I'm not mocking or anything, bro. I would have been the same. But it was really cool to see that type of. I always find it very because it's showing them as humans, and a lot of times you'll see more mainstream artists and such like have this sort of cover on them that they don't show their
this coldness or like they just too cool.
Yeah.
Other rappers been like, yeah, Eminem shouted me out because I'm the best.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been the fanboy now like, oh my god. They were like, yeah, I'm the best. I'm better than Eminem. Thanks, Eminem.
I'm gonna chop that up and just say that Wherelse says he's better than Eminem.
And I don't even rap. Shit. I'm not a rapper.
Yeah, bro. Shit. You know what's a rap though? I think this episode is a rap.
This episode is a rap. It's long as fuck.
Yeah. I mean, it's to compensate for the ones that are 30 minutes long.
Yeah, fair enough.
But we do hope you guys enjoyed listening. We got derailed a bit.
Yeah, it's okay.
I don't know. I like when the conversation gets natural and we just talk shit and we're not like super technical. I feel like it flows better. So yeah, let us know if you like it when we just talk about mundane shit like the second part of the podcast. Leave us any suggestions you might have, any questions. As usual, get at us on Colab Gem on all social media or collabgem@gmail.com. We also got a Patreon if you want to support. You don't have to. It gives you some extra content, but yeah, it's an option. I mean, we're doing this. It would help us. Give us your money. No, I'm just kidding. No, but yeah. Other than that, we got a special episode coming soon.
Oh, yeah.
We're still not 100% sure when, but maybe next week or maybe 2 weeks after. We don't know. But yeah, there is a special episode so coming soon. So please do pay attention to our social media at Colab Gem or at The Plan Beats. And I would say at Darrell Banks Music. But
yeah, just type in my name. You'll find me.
Yeah, that too. But
hopefully.
We'll see if Darrell is promoting shit at that point because he still isn't promoting the fuck out of this podcast. Yeah, stay on stay updated because there is good stuff coming, and let us know your thoughts if you have any. Go check out BeatStars, use the code. And yeah, bro, you got any final notes?
Yeah, my final notes is thank y'all for listening. I love y'all.
Oh man, that was so sweet.
Yeah, thanks.
They're not gonna get you money just because you said you love them.
You never know. You gotta try. You gotta sweet talk your way into people's hearts.
My final note was gonna be stay professional at all times, but the rel is he might really be a scammer. Who knows? Nah, just kidding. Shit. Have a good one, people.
Peace.